I think what the topic of a discussion really is Imran Khan's life in danger, and that's the question I wanted to pose to yourself, Javed. Your thoughts?
I never saw in my decades-long career that a military man, a military spokesperson, would go public against an opposition leader, and the choice of the words that he has used against him, that is obviously a response to a similar choice of words that Imran Khan has been making, or the PTI leaders has been making against the military. So I think the situation is a very tense in Pakistan. Now, the critical question that you have raised on whether or not the life of Imran Khan is in danger, I think let's see the broader picture. The broader picture is, before I come to this particular question, let me just go back briefly to the historical part. That most of the top leaders in Pakistan uh, who were popular, they were assassinated, and
Mm,
many of them were blamed onto the military, that military had conspired against them. From Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in late 70s, and then I think Benazir Bhutto in 2000, December 2007, she was assassinated, and then then military dictator General Pervez Musharraf was prosecuted for masterminding a suicide attack against her. So, and no, in that broader context, there was an assassination attempt on Imran Khan. And Imran Khan had blamed the military officials and the
mm,
ISI officials. And now, whenever there is a ban on Imran Khan, not allowing him to see his family members or his lawyers, then there are obviously apprehensions in Pakistan, fears that the military may try to eliminate him. Now, again, the bigger source of this information is Imran Khan himself. And not long ago, he said that there is no option left with the military or the army officials, and more particularly, he's been pointing out his fingers, accusing fingers, onto the military chief, General Asim Munir, that he said he is leaving no option now with them other than to assassinate him. And then his sisters has been saying it that if he is assassinated, if Imran Khan is assassinated, then people, particularly people from Pakistan's northwestern province, KPK, they would not spare the military generals. Even their next generation would be hunted down. So I think with that kind of exchange of allegations, it looks like that something terrible is happening in Pakistan. Even today, the military spokesperson, he gave the reference of a barking dog in his press conference, and that reference was obviously towards Imran Khan.
mm,
And then he also blamed him that, I mean, nobody believes in it, but that is what he said, that since Indian media is hugely analyzing and reporting, propagating on Imran Khan, and therefore he concluded that he is an agent of India. Again, this doesn't make sense. The military has been accusing Pakistan's all top politicians. So I think, in a broader context, my understanding is that it is an extremely difficult for the military now, or even if they want, they cannot eliminate him, because entire responsibility would be onto the shoulder of the army chief General Asim Munir. He cannot risk it. I think that perhaps it was a part of the strategy of Imran Khan, or perhaps it was a part of the strategy of his party, that since they have blamed the kind of the military officials, army officials, in a manner that now they are on defensive. It will be very difficult to repeat the episode of what had happened with Benazir Bhutto.
Uh, Perhaps if you can comment a little bit more on the fact that the army chief is now an all powerful figure who has immunity from, I guess, prosecution, potentially, uh, definitely against any misdemeanors that have been done in the past, but potentially in the future as well. So does that not lend support to the idea that because the army chief is no longer fearing repercussions, he's more likely to to take that step forward and maybe go for something which is unthinkable for them, has been for so far.
Well, I think many people say that, but I think the problem with the military chief is the army chief is right now, who's the now field marshal and who's a now actually in charge commander of the entire defense forces of three forces, that he probably fears of Imran Khan. That if Imran Khan returns to power, then I think he would not be in a position to dismiss him. That is one part of it. And even if there is a kind of a situation where he is retired from the service, then he would not be able to prosecute him. It is a complete blanket immunity. I think then, to me, I think in the entire world history, I have not seen a kind of a constitutional amendment that Pakistan's parliament did. Now, this is a problematic area, and this is a hugely problematic area. Now, I don't think that even if Imran Khan returns to power, the possibility of all these amendments which have taken place in the parliament, I think those would be undone by the same courts, maybe by the new judges, because this very parliament was is a frankly speaking is a allegedly bogus parliament. Imran Khan had won the election with a two-third majority votes, and then all these members of the parliament they were selected. The ruling party had won just 17 seats, and it has been given a huge majority. These are the bogus election results. So I think whatever the legislation has been made, at the end of the day, I think it holds no moral and legal values. Whenever there is a change of guard in Rawalpindi, or because in Pakistan anything can happen at any time, because this is a kind of a country, we have a history that they think everything change. So right now, I think the army chief is a very strong. He has consolidated his position with the reference to today's press conference. That the spokesperson of the army was repeatedly saying that he's a sick man. He's Imran Khan. I mean, that is a something which is a horrible comment. But then saying mentally sick means actually Imran Khan has been repeating the same thing against the military chief, General Asam Munir. So I think in order to counter his narrative, they are also coming up with the same kind of calling names. So this calling names of each other is becoming the narrative of the from both PTI and also from the military.
Javed Rana, if I could bring you into two items of to comment on. One is around the fact that this is life in Pakistan, political structure, whether it's corrupt or not, that's life. Everybody's up to it, and as long as the other powers around the world accept it, then we're okay with it. That's number one. And number two item is around the powers that are given, the additional powers, whether they are same as what they were previously to the army chief, and if there's a difference between the two. So perhaps you can, in about 3 minutes, if you can give your response on that, please.
Second question first. I
Yeah.
think commander of the defense forces, there is nothing wrong with that idea because so many countries have it. But
Mm.
no chief of defense forces had a kind of the blanket immunity that Asim Munir has. That is a problematic area, and that smacks of probably that it is a politically motivated.
Mm.
And then whenever the military rulers, military dictators have been power, and right now, as we see, because informally it is a complete takeover by the military through so-called procedurally constitutional means, not the regionally constitutional means. Then they seek legitimacy from the international powers by pursuing their agenda, not the agenda of the Pakistan. Now, in this particular case, we have seen that there are accusations against the military journals that they are giving assurance to the Donald Trump that they are going to recognize Israel diplomatically. Something people are totally against it. And then we have also seen that a pro-Palestinian protest, there were, I mean, hundreds of the people allegedly were killed, and an impression was created that the military journals are essentially creating conditions in Pakistan to pave a path to normalize ties with Israel. So I think this is a problematic area. The popular leaders are put in jail because they pursue a public agenda. And then the selected unpopular politicians are brought by the military and they pursue international agenda to get legitimacy from them. The growing tide of anti-Israel sentiments. What you see behind me is just tip of the iceberg of what is happening in the country. More than half of $52 billion black CIA budget is spent on espionage network in Pakistan. How would you handle it?
The US has looked upon Pakistan as an ally at one point and then as an enemy at the same time.
That is going to be the first legal reason on the basis of which he is going to be instantly ousted by the Supreme Court of Pakistan.
Joining us live, Javed Rana, who's an expert on politics and geostrategic issues.
In the world politics, which is not being driven by any moral principle, it is being driven by the hard geostrategic realities. In a broader picture, more countries would aspire to have nuclear weapons.